Howdy, boys. How are
Yo,
we today?
Good.
Very good.
Very well. Alright, so today we've got our guest Sam, a fucking incredible singer, had to bring it up, mate, and the owner of one fine 1963 Commodore. Anyways, let's jump straight into it today, boys. So we're going to start, big one, religion. Now, you know me and Pluto's views on religion, okay? We went over it yesterday, but we're going to go more deep into it today. Okay, so boys, well, Flynn, I already know yours, but Sam, your opinions on religion.
Yo.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, mate. So, religion's a pretty controversial topic, obviously.
Yep.
Loads of people have loads of different fucking opinions and,
Yep.
backgrounds and whatever. So many different factors influence how people feel about religion and
Yep.
all that. Personally, I think religion can be both good and bad.
Yep.
I think religion can set both positive, like it has positives and has negatives. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
I see so many people who believe in religion, Christianity, all of them. They have rules. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
And they have to stay within those sets of rules.
And do you find that healthy? Like, personally?
Well, I feel like it, depending on the person, if they go outside those sets of rules, then it can have negative effects
Yep.
on their mental health. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because growing up in that environment, they're convinced that if you do that, you've sinned and
That's bad.
whatever. Like you've made a big fucking mistake.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think that's definitely a negative of it.
Yeah. So the
But
thing
I
with
also
me
see,
is there's very, very fine boundaries between like being a dedicated, religious person and going over the top. Like, and I'm not gonna say I respect that they're that driven and obsessive towards their religion. Like I respect that.
Yeah.
But there is a point where it gets extreme.
yeah,
Like,
absolutely. I
for
agree.
example, extremists, like there's extremists of all different religions. Flynn, what are your thoughts on that, mate?
Oh shit! My computer's shitting itself, gun. Holy
Oh
fuck.
no.
Well, the extremists are fucking. They're just too much
Yeah, it's
to
fucked.
me.
It's very fucked. That shit's fucked. That's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, no, yeah.
But do you think
That's all I can
right,
say, though.
that there's a point with religion, like not saying extremists, but just normal people that are extremely religious? Do you think there's a point there where it's a bit much? Like,
Of course, there's a line where it becomes too much. Yeah.
yeah,
There's because you can practice it, whatever. Prayer, go to church, blah blah blah. I think as soon as you start preaching and imposing those beliefs on other people, that's too far. And
like
I think
any type of preaching
when-
in general.
yeah, oh, fucking spreading. I guess spreading like knowledge of the religion. I don't know. I guess look, I'm really interested in that shit. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
when someone's religious, I want to find out more. Oh, what do you believe in? What are the beliefs? Like, what are you taught? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't take that as preaching. I think preaching to me is more of like you should believe in this.
yeah,
It's
like it's
more
like
like-
forcing it down your throat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
And
90% of Christians. Take no offense to that, but I've witnessed it way too much. You get you go into a shopping center, you get what are they called? The cunts that sit in the center of the shopping center, and they walk up to you and they're like, "Oh, you got to believe in this, and that, or you're going to hell." And it's like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it gets to, and like the door knockers.
Oh, the
Jehovah's
Witnesses.
Yeah.
I had they don't like, they knock on the door, they bang on it for like 5 minutes here, and then they just leave a note and they walk away.
What? They just sit there, just knocking on your door.
No, like they bang on your door for like I don't even know. At one time it was like for 5 minutes on a Friday morning. I went downstairs, opened the door, and they were already gone. And it was just a note in the door, and I was like, can't.
No, it's definitely Look, it has all its fucking negatives. I think, but like everything else in fucking life,
Yeah.
everything has a negative, so it has a positive. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like substances, like people can indulge in whatever they want, but then there's a point where it becomes unhealthy, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And fucking religion also offers. I don't want to say salvation's not the word I'm looking for. More comfort in hard times. If
Yeah.
they've got something to believe in, do you know what I mean? Oh, a
Yeah.
family member dies. Christians, you know, oh, they've gone to heaven. They're in a better place. I know where they are. I'm going to see
Exactly.
them again. That makes it easier for them. That's the positive. Do you know what I mean?
See, with me, like, I believe in God. I don't know if it's a God from the Bible necessarily, but a higher being, and I do believe in an afterlife. But
Yeah.
does that like the afterlife? I always believe that like heaven is what it's hyped up to be. Like, I reckon there is something after we die.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
in the live chat, I can see my little brother is on my account on his iPad, and he is now typing in the live chat as me. Don't worry about that. Hey Brock, Andrew me. Didn't spell it right, mate. My brother is in my live chat as me. Interesting. Okay. I would definitely be taking his you know,
iPad privileges away.
Definitely. Hey Brock, Andrew me. What? Anyway, boys. So, alright, let's talk about space. We briefly touched on it last time. But space, you could talk about space forever.
Yeah, you fucking.
It is fucking incredible.
No doubt about it.
Like, we spoke about aliens, but the aliens in the last episode, we proposed the theory that the aliens are less advanced than us. They're a lower evolutionary period than us, and we are the high-tech super monster aliens to them, you know?
They could be.
We could be. Or they could be.
Yeah.
Okay. So, alright, boys, we're going to start it off, okay? What lies beyond the observable universe, boys? Let's hear it. What do you guys reckon?
The what?
The observable universe? You know how there's only...
Isn't there like there's like fucking 7, like, I don't even know how many Milky Ways there is of like several different universes or some shit.
I'll pull up a photo.
Yeah, so we're in the Milky Way galaxy, right? And beyond the Milky Way galaxy, there's fucking, I don't know the number, but there's heaps of other fucking galaxies. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's within one universe. And and that's the thing. I think most people overlook the fact that when someone asks, "Oh, is there life in space?" I think they're being kind of they're thinking about our galaxy specifically, but they're forgetting about beyond the Milky Way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, we've got a fuck ton of planets in our galaxy, but that's excluding every other galaxy.
Yeah.
So even if there's not necessarily life in where we are, there could be somewhere else.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, man.
You know,
so the observable universe, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Is where is it? So where's it? Hang on. They think in just the observable universe alone there is 2 trillion galaxies.
Yeah.
2 trillion galaxies. Now you think how incredible the Milky Way is. Think about 2 trillion Milky Ways.
Yeah.
And think about how many intelligent beings there could be.
Yeah, that's more than I thought. That's more than I thought. I thought it was less.
Like, it's weird to think about that. If we're alone in this universe, that's terrifying. But if there is other life in this universe, that's equally terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, think about just nothing apart from us being a thing.
Yeah.
And when we die out, that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
And that thought trips me out. Like, the whole space just trips me out. Like we're so.
Have you
Go on, bro.
have you seen that that photo? It's hell famous photo, and it was taken from, I forgot what it's called, Hubble
Voyager
Deep
1.
Field or some shit.
The
Yeah,
what,
what's it?
sorry?
Hubble Deep Field.
Yeah.
I just searched up. I remember looking at this in school, and that shows a shit ton of the galaxies in our universe,
Yeah.
or that we can see.
Yeah, it's
That was one
messed
of the
up,
first.
It's terrifying.
That was one of the first photos.
It's terrifying.
Yeah, that was one of the first photos that we got.
And there goes
Showing-
my little brother in the chat again. He goes, we're talking about space, and he goes, NASA, space, NASA. Yeah, okay, ocean now. Joke, bye, this is boring. Yep. Children don't
Latest to
understand.
his iPad.
Children don't understand how interesting this shit is to us. I get it though. As a kid, I wouldn't have found this shit interesting.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
Not at all.
I couldn't even sit in a
Guess
fucking
what?
classroom without doing my own shit.
It's
Just
more
sit in
fucking
classroom.
mind blowing as you get older.
Oh yeah, exactly.
You're
It's,
just ignorant to it when you're younger. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
whatever.
you know, one thing that trips me out equally as much as space is the human body. Like, if you think about it, right, the human body runs so perfectly, yet
Yeah, I've thought about that.
so many things can go wrong with it. Like when you start, like when I did my diploma, we went into biology, human biology at a really, really cellular level, and
Yeah.
it tripped me out so much because I couldn't like I was thinking about like this shit happens in me every second, you know.
Yeah,
Every time I take a breath, my heart beats, you know.
yeah.
Like blood throbs in my
Nice.
body. My body's doing this. That shit trips me out.
No, absolutely ridiculous. Everything is. And one thing that I've probably quite recently as well, like, I think I've come to the conclusion that like I've kind of given up on not I've kind of given up on everything.
Mm.
Like I've come to the conclusion that I don't see the point in trying to figure out, like, what is beyond this universe, and is there life, and what's after death? Because we're never gonna know.
No, we're never gonna know unless.
Do you know what I mean?
Until it happens,
And it
we'll
makes
never know.
and it makes my fucking brain explode when I think about it, because I want to know so bad. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When no one is ever gonna know. Do you know what I mean? And then you
Exactly.
get all
Like, the
these,
thing is, everyone's like, "This is gonna happen when we die." Is it though?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, dude, exactly. And that's why it trips me out, is because no one actually knows. No one knows.
Why
Like-
ponder about it when you could just find out for when it comes?
When it comes, and if it's heaven, it's gonna be the best thing ever. But if it's like just a void of nothingness,
Then you won't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you won't be there to.
How
Won't matter.
terrifying is that to think that it could just be a void
Yeah,
of
I-
nothingness
Yeah, I hate thinking about it.
after we die, like just
Yeah, I
black
hate it.
forever.
I'm gonna change the subject. What are your boys' opinions on like marijuana? Do you think it's
Yeah, I thought this was gonna come up.
I
Yeah.
knew this was gonna come up.
do you think it's like it fucks with your head, or do you think it's like a mind opening drug?
No, I don't think marijuana. I don't think marijuana is a mind-opening drug. I think it's great if you're just trying to fucking chillax. Do you know what I mean? But like
Yeah.
you get into drugs like DMT and all that shit.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah,
fucking
DMT has some pretty cool
yeah, well,
things about
yeah,
it.
well, that shit.
Mm.
Most interesting thing about that is, like, fucking, native Aboriginals used that shit centuries ago. Freaking, I think it was like Egyptians or some shit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
They're all
Yeah.
using that, and DMT's created naturally in the body from the, I think it's like pineal gland.
yeah,
And I think when you've got like, so like your your blood-brain wall, whatever it's called, right?
Yeah, blood-brain barrier.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. I think when you've got, a drug that can penetrate that with ease, you know what I mean? Because it's naturally created
It's
in
a
your body.
naturally created
Yeah.
substance. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's fucking like key and lock fit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just it fits. So
Yeah.
I think when that's the case, like, I feel like that's more of a mind-opening drug because what are you seeing then? This isn't some foreign substance.
It's literally made
This
in your body.
this is already in you. Do you know what I mean? You're just giving yourself more.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
what is that? So what do you like? Is hallucinations that that some people see on DMT? Like, is this like subconscious mind? Is that like you're getting more in touch with subconscious
Yeah,
mind,
it's
or are you
interesting
getting
to
more in
think
touch
about.
with?
Because, like,
Yeah,
if you
or
think
you
about, like, obviously, if you ingest something like magic mushrooms or a tab of acid, that's not naturally created in our body. That's a foreign
Yeah, exactly.
substance, and that's why we trip out in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
with DMT,
And that's-
it's made in your
yeah.
body.
exactly. So that's why it's like, is this shit that we can't see without more DMT, or is this our subconscious mind just coming up with bullshit? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And it's another one of those things like we'll never fucking know. Do you know what I mean?
yeah. We'll
Like
never
I've
find
heard
out.
stories of people. I've heard stories of people seeing fucking aliens in their house, and
Yeah,
and
drugs.
a three-headed black horse running around in his room. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Drugs are fucking amazing, but they could be so harmful. Like,
yeah,
if you're not smart about it.
yeah, exactly.
Like,
I
if you
mean,
think
like-
about it. There you go, Flynn.
When I say like you think weed is a mind-opening drug,
Yeah.
I mean, like, when I first tried it, I was so like enclosed in my own bubble. I didn't have like an open mind to anything. But when I tried it, I got so open-minded, and it wasn't like right as I tried it or right after I tried it. It was like a few days after trying it, I just mind open, and I was like, dude, like I'm so more open to like
Everything.
conversations like these, fucking spiritual shit and all that shit.
Yeah.
You see, it's an
I think-
interesting. Go, Sam.
No, mate, you go.
So-
I keep cutting you off.
It's interesting, right? Because you look at people, right, and people say, like, I was talking to my year 12 math teacher about this, because he doesn't drink. He used to smoke ciggies when he was younger, but he's really invested into shit like this, and he loves this type of stuff, like these types of chats, and he was saying that people that smoke marijuana, right, they have more like negative psychological effects over a long period of time, like smoking weed over like 30, 40 years.
Definitely, absolutely agree.
Like,
100% agree with that.
yeah.
I 100% agree with that.
Most definitely.
But if you look at like certain what is it? CBD? No, is it CBD? Like cannabis oils, like how they
THC and
yeah,
all that shit.
how they positively affect the body. Like lots of athletes that use it, and it fucking works wonders.
Yeah, because it's a natural substance.
The natural
do you know what I
substance
mean?
is working on your body, and
Yeah,
even
exactly.
smoking it. Like I know people who have had. So I know someone who has an amputation of their arm, right, and he gets phantom pains really bad, like really bad phantom pains, and he smokes pot because that's one of the only things that soothes his phantom pain.
Yeah, so I've actually used CBD oil as well.
Yeah.
When I was unwell, and it just helps with everything, pain. Do you know what I mean? Cognitive function I found as well.
Yeah.
That's why it's legal
just-
in Australia.
Well, it's
Like-
not actually.
Oh,
Well, it is.
yeah, you can. My stepmother, she could get it, but it was like $300 or some shit.
Is it legal now? I know when we bought it, it was a little bit.
It's not known to the public, but the oils that help with chronic illnesses and ghost pains and shit like that, it's legal, but it's just not known to the public.
Yeah.
And
No,
if
it's
you
not
can't
medical,
afford it, most doctors say get marijuana privately. So
Really?
through like dealers and shit, like
Oh,
unknown.
really?
Yeah, my stepmom, when she went into the doctor, and they first prescribed that oil shit to her, she was like, I can't afford that. And
Yeah.
they were like, he was like, I didn't say this to you, but just get it, get it privately.
Gotta love
What?
the professional people that are loose in their downtime too.
Yeah, what fucking doctor did you
When
go
I
to?
was first dating at an event, it was like Burning Man, but like Australia's version of it. So there was like lots of crazy
right.
shit going on, and like
Yeah,
with like they have like the camps, like certain like tribes and camps, and the doctor was like the on-site doctor was part of one of the tribes,
Oh shit!
like our on-site doctor, and I was like, what? Like I heard another story. I'm obviously not disclosing names, but there was a doctor on a mine site, not a mine site, sorry, a doctor who was hanging out with some people, right? And pretty much they were like, you know, there was drugs. They were doing some drugs. I don't know what they were doing. But the doctor picks up the bag of drugs and goes, "That's fucking shit." And I'm like, when I heard this story, I was like, "There's no fucking way that a doctor is out here fucking explaining the quality of drugs." Like, I just find it so. Like, obviously they're normal people. They do all this shit too. But I find that shit so funny. Like professional people, and they, you know.
and they're doing like the drugs and shit. That's fun.
They're the ones who are advising people to stay off drugs. Go on, Sam.
The professional people are the ones that are in it the most, bro. Dude, you know fucking lawyers? You know how fucked up lawyers are?
Oh, they get pretty fucked up. From what I've heard.
I'm not going to name any names or anything because it's pretty fucking... Anyways, so I know this lady that, okay, she was a lawyer, right?
Yep.
And, she explained how fucking, how much cocaine was the main one. That was the main substance. Lawyers would be doing cocaine and then going into the courtroom and solving cases and shit like that and you know, defending criminals and all that shit. So they'd be doing hard drugs, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then going into the courtroom.
Yeah, to keep themselves
trying to keep people out of jail. Do you know what I mean?
I think that's
like it's fucking crazy.
Part of the psychological effect, though, because if you think about it, as a lawyer, like I honestly don't know much, but as a lawyer, I think some people would be able to tell if their client was guilty or innocent.
Yeah.
And I think if you know
definitely.
someone's guilty of, say, killing someone, but you're defending that case, it's one of those things that, like, it'd be pretty... It's like... Yeah, it'd be like, you know, got rocking up to a suicide scene or something as a medic or whatever. Like...
Yeah, I don't understand how they do that either. Stick up for criminals.
Yeah. But, man, they love it. Some lawyers love it.
Yeah, because to them it's just easy money.
It's a comp. It's a challenge.
Yeah, it would be an adrenaline filled job.
Yeah, I can't speak on that subject because I fucking know nothing. But I'm just assuming that's what it would be.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Like if you think about it, human psychology, right, is such like an incredible thing to look into. Like, and there's so much random shit involved in human psychology. Like, is it the rule of thirds or rule of threes?
I don't know.
Upon viewing something, like there's only that one area you pay attention to the most.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like shit like that. It just makes no sense, but it's true.
Yeah.
Like, think about dreams, right? Like, it's literally our mind just making up shit. Possibly.
Yeah, and fucking dreams as well, man. Like, so much shit.
Yeah.
Dreams. People have the weirdest dreams. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, that's like sometimes it's like, surely, like, where did that come from?
Yeah.
Like where would something like that come from? Like even talking about like subconscious mind and how that plays a part, and where would that come from? Where would there's shit that people would never be able to think of. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
thing with me is like I said it in the last episode. I spoke about the dream I had about my uncle that passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had 3 dreams. He appeared to me 3 times in each dream, and the first time he came, he was his sick self when he had when he was terminally ill, so it wasn't looking 100%. And the second time he came to me, he was like withered, like really fucking withered, like looking like a zombie.
Yeah.
And the third time he was healthy, looked like he did like 5 years ago. Took me through this door, and it was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. And I still cannot figure out the meaning behind the dream.
Yeah.
If there was a
Yeah,
meaning.
literally. And you wouldn't, and I don't know. So many people would say like, oh, that's just like grieving. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just a way to cope with grieving.
Yeah.
But like, there's also that part that is like, what the fuck? Like, what if it's not? You idiot. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
what if it meant something?
what if that genuinely happened?
Yeah.
Like that happened.
In my subconscious mind.
If did you start believing in like the afterlife after that happened, or
No, I've
did you
always been a believer in afterlife.
Yeah.
From a young
yeah,
age, but
have you had any other experiences
not
apart from
like
that, or
I like religious experiences or like rich experiences like that.
like spiritual experience, like spirits and
Honestly,
relatives and all that shit?
I've been sleeping and like my conscience is telling me things that I would never tell myself.
Mm.
Like good things like about me that my conscience wouldn't be telling me.
Yeah.
But it's the same with dark thoughts as well. Like if I go
Yeah.
through when I was going through a really like fucked up time, it was the same shit. Like
Yeah.
the same type of
Just
thing.
opposite. Yeah.
Like it's so like human psychology is such an incredible thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what are your thoughts on it, Pluto?
I mean, it's hard to like say anything because there's people that are like, it's just a dream, you know, and they don't like they shit on you for believing it so much.
Yeah.
But then you get like shit that like you dream about, and it feels so real that when you wake up, you feel like you're still dreaming, you know.
Yeah, like I've gone to sleep, and I've had a dream. I've woken up. I got straight up thinking that just happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know.
I get,
go on.
you go.
I don't know if you guys have ever had these dreams, right, where you've dreamt of something so good, right, and you try to go back to sleep to try and
Yes.
continue the dream.
I get
Yes,
it.
and it works sometimes. It works sometimes. Like you
I've
wake
never
up-
been able to do it.
I've done it
I've never been
twice.
able to do it. Fuck, dude, I'm jealous that I've never been able to manage it.
You know, the other night I
Never.
actually had a lucid dream, and it was like I had a proper lucid dream. Like I don't know how I induced it, but I was like dreaming, and like halfway through the dream, I was like, "This is just a fucking dream," and I was just controlling my dream, and it was the best thing ever.
I love lucid dreaming. So
There's like ways to
Fucking hell.
induce it, but I've never been able to, you know, give myself.
Yeah,
a
no,
lucid
they-
dream.
Yeah, they all like use like breathing techniques and fucking all that shit.
I'll tell you what does terrify me though is sleep paralysis.
Dude,
I have
don't
a
you-
mad fucking sleep paralysis story.
Let's hear
Yeah.
yours first, Flynn, because I've got
Yeah.
one too.
This
Yeah,
wasn't
same.
long ago either. This was like 3 weeks ago from now. I had this fucking nightmare that I walked out of my room into my nan's room, and she's in her bathroom, like, possessed by a demon. She's freaking out and shit. I run into my room, lock my door. I wake up from that, like from that nightmare, and I'm in
Yeah.
sleep paralysis. And all I can see in the corner of my room is that fucking nun from that movie.
Fuck.
Oh,
Oh, for
With
fuck's
the
sake.
young guys, and I was shitting myself. And as soon as I woke up from that, I was like, dude, what the fuck? And I couldn't, like, I didn't want to, like, do anything. I hid under my blanket, and I
Yeah.
felt like a child. But, like,
Fuck
shit, that shit was scary.
Is that your only time you've had sleep paralysis?
No, I've had other ones as well.
You got any other stories?
The first time I moved in with my nan, I was laying there because I have a walk-in cupboard, and I didn't
Yep.
shut my door, and I fell asleep, and I was like, I'm not expecting anything. And I woke up, sleep paralysis, and all I can see is this fucking demon head popping in and out of my cupboard, just going
No, that's fucked up.
coming out, in, out, and then it started crawling at me, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, fuck. See, the way,
Yeah, no,
like,
it's fucked.
the thing with sleep paralysis is, I found out about it at a really young age, and I was terrified to ever have it. I was like, fuck
Yeah.
that, fuck that, fuck that. And
Yeah.
I was Googling, like, how to get out of sleep paralysis, like, and it was always, like, breathing techniques, start breathing. Because when you wake up in sleep paralysis, you can't move, your respiratory rate goes up.
Yeah.
And I remember the first time I had sleep paralysis, I was in year 8, so I was 14. Yeah, 14. So I was lying in bed, and my door was closed, my room was pitch black. And I heard, like, I was lying, I'm like, I'm obviously sleep paralysis, so I can't move. I remember I'm breathing hell fast. I start breathing slow, breathing slower, like really controlling my breathing. But then before I start, like, I don't know what it was. I think I could feel myself coming back around, but I'm not too sure. I heard this witch's laugh at my door, like outside my door,
Oh,
and I was like, "Fuck, man! Oh no!" It was like a really cliche witch laugh. And
Yeah.
then I was like, "What the fuck?" And then I started breathing fast again, and then I snapped out of it. And then the last time I had sleep paralysis was actually about 4 weeks ago, and I was on my side, which is weird because you don't usually get sleep paralysis on your side. And I was on my side, and I was like lying, and I was like facing towards my TV, and it was like the Ring Man. My TV was like, because I left my TV on, and I had like a channel of like the fucking static. All I was doing was just staring to the static. I couldn't move. I was shitting myself. And then
no.
I feel like something like push on, like grab my chest from behind me, like put their arms around me. I'm like, what the fuck?
That's
And I was like, it was terrifying, man. It was so scary. Like, that's probably the worst one I've had. What about you, Sam? You got any stories about yours?
I've got one. I've only had it once.
Alright.
Touch fucking wood. So I was laying in bed and I was on my side as well. I didn't know that you got it less on your side. That's new to me. So that's pretty interesting. So I was laying on my side as well, and the door to the hallway was open.
Yep.
Right? And so I was like, I was about to fall asleep. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like seconds from falling asleep, and I decided to open my eyes, right? And then in the hall, there's a nun.
Oh, fuck.
Which is why when you said nun before, I was like, oh, fucking nuns, yeah.
Yeah.
So there was a nun standing there, right? And it was really quick sleep paralysis because what happened was she stood there for like a couple seconds, right? And then she bolts towards my face, like full on fucking bolts towards my face.
Fuck.
And bro, I so nearly had a heart attack. Hey, that was fucking the scariest shit that I had experienced probably when I was sleeping.
Yeah,
like I've had fucking like experiences where I've seen like my pop, like a week after he died, I saw him in my room. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like that wasn't scary to me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was shocking.
So when that happened, dude, I was fucking freaked out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it sounds fucked.
That was the scariest fucking thing ever. Like, holy shit.
You guys had any paranormal experiences? Like, that you can say you've seen, like, something paranormal?
Definitely, yeah.
You got a few?
Yeah. I've got two.
Enlighten us.
That I can confidently say I've got two.
Enlighten us.
So I just mentioned that I saw my pop, right? So this is about a week after he passed, right? And I was once again I was in my bed, and I opened my eyes again, and he's there standing at the foot of my bed. He's just standing there.
Yeah.
And it's so weird because you can't see their face, but you know exactly who it is. And he was wearing a shirt that he always wore as well, and it wasn't scary at all. It was more comforting
Yeah, you felt
to me.
comforted.
Yeah, like, which is weird because you'd always think like, oh, right, I'd be so freaked out if that happened. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is what my take on on it was. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, if that happened to me, I'd be so scared.
Yeah.
But when that happened, and I know that that was him, without a doubt, that was my pop. It wasn't scary. I feel like he was just checking in on me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So it was like a week after he died, you said?
About a week, yeah, probably about a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
Which again, it's like your uncle, where it's like, oh, okay, could be the mind just grieving. It's a way of comforting.
Yeah, it could
I
just
mean,
be
but-
like your brain tripping out.
Yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
then I just know. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you knew it was him.
Yeah, I just knew it was him. And so that's one.
Yeah.
And then so this next one's a little bit freakier, I guess.
Alright, let's hear it, mate. I'm interested.
So when I was younger, right? I've got this little hill bit that goes into our backyard.
Yeah.
And I had to confirm this with Mum not that long ago, actually, because I remembered it. And I would always say to her, I can't go down the back. And she always asks, oh, why can't you go down the back? And it's because there was a man laying there, and he'd always be laying there. He wouldn't move. So I remember one night, we had a little family gathering out the side of mine, and my mum, actually no one asked me to go out the back, but I decided to look at the back because I wanted to see him.
Yeah.
I wanted to look at him,
See if he was there.
see if he was there, and that's probably the most clear version of him that I could see, and he was this blue silhouette, right? And he was laying on the grass, and I was so scared of him.
Yeah, that's fucked.
You know what I mean?
That's so fucked.
And he was there for ages, and like it could have just been bullshit. Do you know what I mean? But my
Yeah.
mum actually got the house like saged and like cleansed, and after she did that, he was gone.
So you never saw him again.
I didn't see him after that.
What
That's
the
kind
fuck?
of
So so that was definitely a thing, even though I was young. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I had to confirm it with my mum because fucking
That's
Oh.
trippy as fuck. That's so fucking
Yeah.
trippy.
yeah.
Flynn, you got any
It's weird.
paranormal experiences?
When I lived with my dad, this was an old house. Old house.
Uh-oh.
It's like 100 years old or some shit.
Fucking hell.
That's every night I would hear this
Red flag.
knocking on the window, but there was a tree that's right next to the window, and it would always I would always think, oh, it's just a branch banging on the window, whatever, and
Yeah.
I would go to sleep. But one day, me and my dad went out the back, and I was like, Dad, can we cut a few branches off? And he's like, oh yeah, I was thinking that myself because I can hear the banging as well. And I'm like, oh, can you? So we went out the back and we cut we pretty much stripped this tree naked, so it had no branches
Yep.
until it grew, right? And that night we did that, I heard the banging, but it was louder. It was like someone banging on the
Fuck.
fucking window. And the next morning, I went up to my dad and I was like, Dad, did you hear that fucking banging? He was like, yeah. And I was like, that wasn't the fucking tree. And he's like, that was probably something. And we were shitting ourselves for the next week.
Did you ever hear it again?
We heard it, but it wasn't as loud, and we couldn't
Fuck.
we couldn't tell if it was maybe like a possum or if it was a fucking spirit or something.
Yeah, that's fucked. See, I don't really have any paranormal experiences, but one of my best friends as a kid, who I'm still really close with now. His mum would always tell us like ghost stories about the house they were in, and
Fucked up.
I never fucking believed it. And she would always say, "There's a little girl, right, that I've seen standing in my doorway multiple times," and I never fucking believed it. So I never slept over because I was so fucking scared of these ghosts, right? So we'd always stay up really late at night and play Halo on the original Xbox. We'd always play Halo 2 on the original Xbox. I specifically remember it. And I remember we fell asleep, like, because he had like an L couch. So he'd sleep on one side and I'd sleep on the other. And I remember waking up in the morning to footsteps. And I'm like, oh, so it must be, you know, my mate's mum getting up, you know.
Mm.
I turn around and I specifically remember seeing, like, a girl, or not a girl, but it's like something about half the size of a normal human, and I saw her run, or whatever it was, like run, and I just saw her hair, because like this was like a kitchen counter. I turn around, and I see the hair, and I just see this fucking figure run. I just see the long hair, and that's when I was convinced. And he doesn't have any other siblings, so that's when I was convinced that this guy's house was haunted. Right, 100%. And that, like, I did sleep over again, and I never had another experience like that until it was his 18th birthday. So this is last year, okay?
Yeah.
And we were having a few beers, we were talking, and, you know, obviously it was loud because it was a party. And this, like, obviously the girl came up. So we went for a little, and we were like, oh yeah, it's whatever, you know, shit happens. So, you know, obviously we just kept partying, kept having a few beers. And we went to his back shed, like in his yard. And I specifically remember seeing the door swing open and hearing knocking. And I was like, what the fuck? But I never ever saw anything come out. But the door, it wasn't a windy night. The door just swung open and there was knocking. That fucking tripped me out. I don't know if it was the same spirit. I don't know if it was another spirit. I don't even know if it was a spirit, but it was fucking terrifying. That shit trips me out.
Yeah.
Alright,
Sure.
boys, we're running out of time now. So, is there anything you guys want to add at all?
Bro, I'm good at it.
Anything, Flynn?
Nah, I'm all good, mate.
Anything you want to say to the viewers?
Hope you enjoyed the podcast. Give it a like, you know. Helps.
Absolutely. Fun love.
Alright, guys, thanks for watching. And I'll see you guys in the next one.